So again, the name of the game really is to keep this initiative marker over here in this territory as much as possible. It'll shift back and forth each turn depending on the conditions that exist at the end of the turn. The way combat works is a random chit draw mechanic. Green chits tend to be favorable toward the Axis. Blue chits also tend to be a bit more favorable, but not as much. Then down here you got yellow and red chits that tend to help out the Soviets. There's also special chits that go in the cup. These are X chits. Unlike these, which get recycled into the cup at the end of every turn, these X chits, once they're drawn, they do not get put back. And as you can see, these helpful chits, there's quite a few more of them than there are of the ones that are helpful to the Soviets. So as the game progresses, your probability of drawing a favorable chit isn't going to go so well. Some chits also have special initiative modifiers on them that if pulled, you would place up here in the other initiative markers currently in effect box. And what you would do is at the end of the turn, those markers will give you extra initiative points in your favor or extra initiative points in the Soviet favor. They're only temporary though, you only leave them there for one turn. So what you do as the game goes on, if it's your attack phase, you decide which unit is going to attack, you draw a chit from your cup, apply the results to the German combat table. Then when your attack phase is over, begins the Soviet counterattack phase. You draw chits, go over here to the Soviet counterattack table, apply the result, apply modifiers, and the battle is going to wage back and forth between German attack, Soviet counterattack. If the initiative marker gets down here into contested, the Soviets also will have an additional combat phase in which you would draw an event card, and it'll tell you what side of the map, how many spaces the Soviets have to capture. And that's the way the battle's going to wage back and forth. Economics plays a pretty huge factor in this game as well when calculating your initiative. Depending on how your armor production goes, for example, this can give you additional initiative bonuses. Eliminated panzer units are going to penalize you. Captured objectives are going to award you additional initiative points. While, of course, over here on the Soviet side, Soviet economic advancement is going to penalize you in the initiative at the end of the turn. Captured objectives on behalf of the Soviets, and that's what's going to keep that initiative marker moving up and down. So, to wrap things up, the Barbarossa campaign, don't let the plastic baggie fool you. There's a very deep, complex, strategic game in here. The way that, well, the complexity of the economic factors, the constantly shifting initiative, combat modifiers, etc., make for a really deep experience. You know, if I went into detail on all the complexity in this game, this would be an hour-long video. One word of caution: if you're a casual gamer who's just looking to sit down, play something light, you know, roll some dice and have your game be done in an hour, this is probably not the game for you. average game is going to take probably about 3 hours if you play through the whole campaign. There are some shorter scenarios included. But anyway, back to the complexity of the game and how it lends to the overall experience. The X-chits. As I said, you don't replace those in the chit cup. Those are going to come out of the chit cup every time you pull one. So as combat continues, as the turns progress, things are going to start to become less and less favorable to you. That, along with the economic chit pulls and random events, do a really good job of simulating what happened for the Germans throughout the course of the war. Things started off really well for them. They advanced deep into Soviet territory. Soviet economic factors started to come into play. Soviets start to push back harder. And sooner or later, things start going bad for the Germans. So the inclusion of random events and things guarantees a fresh experience each time you play, but the overall strategic picture for what happened on the Eastern Front stays true to history. Every game, things are going to gradually get worse and worse for the Germans, better and better for the Soviets. One quick word about the initiative marker. Once that Soviet initiative drops, or once the initiative marker drops far enough into the Soviet initiative territory, Soviets are going to start having their own initiative combat phase. At that point, the game starts to wear down a bit, where you're pretty much doing a lot of counting, just trying to figure out where the Soviets are going to attack you next. At that point of the game, it's pretty much a done deal. You can play it down all the way to the end if you want, but for me, I'd probably just wrap it up and set the game up new. But I really like this game. I was surprised at the level of complexity, but it gave me the deeper strategic experience I was looking for. Fortune favors the bold. Early on, things are going your way. Press your luck. That's probably my #1 tip. But I really enjoyed this game. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. The Barbarossa campaign, You Alone and the Russian Front. Check it out. It's a good, solid, solitaire experience. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, happy gaming.